In today's world of high-speed connection, text messaging, and social networking, we often find ourselves searching for information. There are millions of blogs on the internet. News, sports, politics, and tech. But I bring it all together for you and present it in a relentlessly unconventional fashion. My name is Zenny Abraham, and this is the Blog Report. It's time now for tech. Today I'm visiting a company called Widgets. Let's check it out. They're at the cutting edge of what's happening online.
There's Will's in there. Oh, he's not? Okay, perfect.
Hey, Ryan Spoon.
Hi.
You're the Vice President and
Marketing at Widgets.
Marketing for Widgets.
Yeah.
Tell me and my viewers, and first, thanks for your time. This is a great fun out
Very glad to be here.
What is?
So widgets are really portable pieces of content on the web. And what that means is any piece of content that can be taken and shared in different parts or uses across the web. Facebook, a blog, a start page like NetVibes or iGoogle. And often with one click or a drag that can be taken and shared virally across the web, and that's where widgets play, and that's what Widgetbox does.
So for the grandmother in Kansas,
Sure.
why are widgets important to society?
So widgets play a lot of different roles. One, they help with communication. And communication can mean you pulling in content, and that could be the SF Chronicle, that could be ESPN, that could be my personal blog. It also allows two-way communication, people taking content and putting them in places that can be read or published from both sides. That would be, for instance, Facebook. Or our most popular widget to date is something called the Baby Ticker. And that is...
Which I'm actually familiar with.
Yeah. 750,000 people are. And every month millions of people interact, but 750,000 times has that been downloaded. What the widget is a virtual womb, and the baby, you customize the date, the number of children, the mother's name, etc., and the baby morphs over time that corresponds with the delivery date. And families use this as a way not only to kind of share the progress with people across parts of the U.S. or the world for that matter, but also to communicate and teach young children all different sorts of use cases, and that's a single widget. We happen to have over 200,000 different widgets on Widgetbox.
And how did Widgetbox start, really? Just curious.
So Widgetbox is, I think, just celebrated our 3rd year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we've maneuvered in a lot of different directions, mostly with the way that people have taken widgets and asked widgets to be created and moved. And what I mean by that is when blogging became really commonplace, and that can be for major publishers like the Huffington Post or major newspapers now actively blogging, to now millions of people don't make their living blogging, but they also, they do communicate, right? Which is great, and we saw that blogs became very meaningful parts of the way widgets are used. So we addressed that market with tools like the Widget, which is basically any RSS feed creates a dynamic widget. Then
An
we
RSS feed is really simple syndication, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
And the non-technical description or answer what that is as someone publishes structured content, so your blog, for instance, every time you write a post, the feed updates, and without you having to tell Widgetbox or Google or whoever it is, it automatically does that. So every article you post, the widget your widget will automatically update as well. So you spend the time creating it, should be seconds as opposed to hours, but that's all you have to do ever.
Now, what's this thing about web portability? I heard Washington Capitals owner Ted Leonsis used that term a while back, and I've heard it a bunch of times. What's web portability?
Yeah, so web portability is really the same reason why widgets have become popular. And what it means is there's no longer a place where you spend all your time on the web, right? 5 years ago, you could name Yahoo, eBay, AOL, or these places where you would go to the homepage and you'd spend your time there, and those would constitute a large percentage of your internet usage. Then Google came in, and Google started landing you directly into websites. So you wouldn't go to Yahoo's homepage, you'd arrive at Yahoo Finance, or you'd arrive at a particular article, or maybe it's not Yahoo, it's the Washington Post, or it's my blog, or whatever it is. And now, it's totally fragmented, which is a good thing, but that means if I think of how I use the web, I navigate based on email, I navigate based on Facebook, heavily based on Google search, or things, a lot of people use iGoogle, and so they're taking this content, right, and so you probably have modules that say, look, here's stock, here's news, you could have your widget, you could have your RSS feed, and you're moving in different directions based on recommendations, based on widgets, based on technology.
Now, having said that, newspapers are dying, and my contention is that newspapers in their form can't even survive online because people are clicking around all the time looking for things, and Widgetbox kind of contributes to that. Not that it's a bad thing, but I want you to comment on the future of news. You know?
Well, I think there's a difference between the business model and navigation.
Well said.
And traffic is always going to be important, right? And it's still the case when you get the New York Times or the Chronicle or the Washington Post. It used to be the most important articles on the upper left corner, and then you made your way down. Then you flipped into a section, and yes, there's a whole other series of business discussions around the cost of structuring that, etc. But think about how news is consumed now. It's not based on necessarily what is being told to me that's popular. It's based on my network telling me it's popular or what's relevant to me. And I think there will always be a need for that traffic, and that's probably how you validate what articles of yours are important, or whether or not something's been maybe very well written but not well seen. That's important. But the business model, I think, is different, and I think there's been a lot of discussion about micropayments, etc. But ultimately, if the content is good, I think you can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
That could be advertising, that could be a lot.
For my viewers in Ropocamunga, New York, I think it's, I forgot how it's pronounced. Can we take a look at one of the widgets on the screen here?
We can, but I would need to get my laptop and plug it in.
And now we're with Ryan talking about Widgetbox and portability. We have the screen, right, Ryan?
Yeah. So what I can show here actually maps into our discussion really nicely. This is one of our really our flagship product called the Widget Pro, and it is based entirely on RSS. But it still allows full customization. So my personal blog is ryanspoon.com. I've made that logo, I've made the footer, I've made the size. I can kind of dictate that or set that. And then what is appearing here is all based on RSS. So the widget updates every time I write a new article. These are all actually images and articles from my personal blog. You can get a little fancier and then also put tabs of content from other places. So I have RSS feeds from other sources, or in this case, my friend feed. So a use case there could be you're either your own content or you are aggregating content for a topic that you think is particularly interesting.
I noticed that videos were in, because when I first discovered Widgetbox, I didn't see videos as something that could fit in the RSS feed system. Now that's different, right?
Yes, we are able to embed YouTube, Vimeo, and Hulu inside the widget. And what that means is you'll get an image like this. It will have a little play button on it, and if you click it, it will actually play in line on the blog. Very cool. You don't need to leave the site.
So for Hulu, I can watch The Family Guy or something like that from your widget.
Yes.
That's huge.
It's very cool. So also worth noting as we talk about the kind of portability, there's a couple things here. One is this is intended obviously for users to be able to grab the widget and take it and share it. And there's two ways to do that. First, we have get widget install targets, Facebook, Blogger. Those are all kind of one click. We also give you the embed code like YouTube.
Right there, yeah.
Or you can do it in the widget, because 95% of our traffic is not on widgetbox.com. It's on sites like my blog and 500,000 others. And so what they do is they actually click the Get Widget button, and that opens up this installer. And the installer gives you code based on where you need to go: MySpace, Facebook, Blogger, so on and so forth.
Now, for those of you watching who might be a little intimidated by this, it's really easy. For example, if you have B in Blogger, you just push the button.
And it's a one-click install and pops it up. You just click Add Widget.
Yeah, and it goes right into your blog.
Super easy.
Your Blogger layout area, right?
And so what it would look like, this is the blog where my content is actually pulling for the widget. And you'll see I happen to have mine down here. And it fits. I've made mine the right size to fit in the sidebar. And a user who hasn't been to Widgetbox here could actually click Get Widget, and you have that whole process again.
Folks, we'll be right back with more from the Blogger Suite. I'm Zinni Abraham, and you're watching Colors TV.
You know, Facebook obviously is one of the key definitions of portability right now, and our
have
widgets,
your widget right there.
Right. This is totally portable with Facebook. If you click it, it will play, and it has all the tabs. It is scrollable. It updates with the last photos, and you can still then go forward and view the widget on Facebook in its full size.
Excellent. Ryan's taking us around to show us the office.
So this is Sean.
Hi, Sean. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Sean works with a lot of our partners, and we actually recently ran a promotional campaign for a widget for Investors Business Daily. You can see it on Sean's computer right there. Where did we run those promotions? It was Facebook.
Facebook, obviously off of Widgetbox. We tried to balance number of installs between Facebook and throughout the rest of the web, and focus through some of our custom gallery partners. So we power a lot of galleries.
And you can see right there. So Sean's was the lead contact and dealing with IBD, but we had 2,000 installs for them.
Congratulations.
And that was kind of their launch campaign, and they also had, I think, another 1,000 or so on Facebook.
So generally, you partner with companies to make specialized widgets like this,
and then help them get
purposes.
awareness.
Right.
And you know, every day there's plenty more people who use our site who don't talk to us directly. But Sean and I do a lot of the talking to others.
I have a widget too, so I'll be talking.
There you go. Absolutely.
Cool.
And then today is kind of a once in a month type day here, where we call it Hack Day.
Yeah.
And everyone at usually everyone participates and they come up with their own kind of concepts, usually themed, and the entire day is spent hacking. And then we have a 4 p.m. Where everyone reveals them. And so this is the team working on
hacking.
their
Exciting. Folks, we'll be right back with more from the Blogger Suite. I'm Zinni Abraham, and you're watching Colors TV. Giles' last name is
Goodwin.
Pleasure, and you're the founder. Great job. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we are going to take a look at a Widgetbox Hack Day real quick.
Excellent.
So let me
Let's
introduce
do
you
it.
to a few
Yeah,
people.
cool. Let's do it.
All right. So what we have going on here is we have George, who's the head of our UE.
Hey, George. Pleasure. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Doing great work. Responsible for a lot of Widgetbox's UI, along with Julie, or the member of the UE. And George and I are actually working on a Hack Day project together, and we're going to build a a new way for Widgetbox to be or our widgets to go embedded in the web. So
Oh,
I'm excited about that.
Exciting. Oh.
And then we've got a lot of stuff going on. We have Omar.
Hey, Omar, you're pretty good. How's it going?
Omar is one of our developers. He and Brady here are both working on different projects, different cool stuff today. But Omar was one of our early employees and does a lot of stuff with Flash and front end and kind of expanding all sorts of stuff. And Brady's another developer here who's also working on a cool project today, making our search better, which is great, with one of our remote employees who you can't see, Ike in Boston.
Nice.
This is Dave and Grant.
Hi, Dave.
And,
How are you?
This is Grant and Dave.
Grant.
Hey.
Dave.
Grant. Dave. Great. Yeah.
So Grant and George were actually the first
Kirk and
two.
Spock, right? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grant and George were the first two employees at Widgetbox, and Grant does a lot of front end work, and Dave heads up QA and support. And but we're all sort of working on all sorts of stuff as far as product development. And so two guys over there. We have David.
Hey, David. How are you?
David is keeps us running. He runs all of our ops and is a valuable member. And Nels as
Nels,
well,
pleasure.
who is working on some fun stuff for Hack Day, but also works as a backend engineer here.
Yeah.
We mentioned Julie, who does great UIs, and I'm sure is working on UI with David, who
Hey, David. How are you? Good.
is also working on they're working together on some cool stuff today.
Oh.
So it's kind of went over you the office, and special day here, so it's fun to have you in. And
After 3 years, did you think you see all this space and get this far? Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a really exciting journey, and we still have we just really like working together. So we have a lot of energy to do a lot more.
How can people find your widgets online after this?
The biggest way is probably SEO. A lot of our traffic comes from SEO. We spend a lot of time, and Ryan's worked with us a lot on, and has done a lot of good stuff here with SEO.
Yeah.
So we have a very well optimized site, but then widgets themselves are embedded everywhere.
Yeah.
And most of them have a little get widget button so they can spread. So it's a good mix between finding them on Widgetbox, finding them
That's how I
on the
found
web.
you guys. I searched for widgets just to see what was going on
yeah.
like 3 years ago, 3.5,
Yep.
and 2.5 years ago. And then now I just go to widgetbox.com.
Yep,
So, yeah.
widgetbox.com is definitely the best place to start, or find us on the web.
It's exciting. You even got good food here. So,
Yeah, it's fun days.
Folks, people, internet companies eat well, all
We
the
do.
time. Hey,
It's
thanks.
key.
So,
Yeah, you don't want to have hungry developers.
Lots of coffee too.
Yeah, yeah, I need coffee too. Hey, thanks.